Every gardener dreams of soil that stays fertile without constant feeding, watering, or fertilizing. The reality, however, is that most beds dry out, nutrients get depleted, and crops struggle by mid-season. But what if one simple, lazy setup could feed your soil for months without you turning compost piles or hauling in bags of amendments? That's exactly what the Humus tunnel does. It's a hidden composting channel buried in your bed that works quietly all season, building humus, feeding microbes, and inviting worms to stick around. The secret behind a humus tunnel is underground composting. Unlike a surface compost pile, which often dries out or takes months to break down, the humus tunnel creates a moist, stable environment where organic matter breaks down faster. It's basically a trench or narrow channel dug into your bed, filled with alternating layers of scraps and carbon material, then sealed with soil or mulch. The difference is that instead of being exposed to the air, everything decomposes underground where moisture, warmth, and microbial activity remain steady. This is the same principle that farmers use in trench composting, but scaled down to fit any backyard bed. The tunnel doesn't just rot down your scraps, it turns them directly into humus where roots can reach. Building a humus tunnel takes very little work. To build one, choose a bed where you'll be planting heavy feeders like tomatoes, corn, or squash. Dig a trench about a foot deep and 6 inches wide. This doesn't need to be perfectly straight or even, it just needs enough depth to hold organic material. Start by laying down a thin layer of cardboard at the bottom. This serves two purposes. It slows down weeds, and it attracts moisture-loving worms that will chew their way upward through the tunnel. On top of that, add kitchen scraps like peels, stems, or old produce, keeping them chopped small so they break down faster. For every bucket of green scraps, add about the same volume of brown material such as shredded leaves, straw, or paper. This 1-to-1 ratio helps balance nitrogen and carbon, preventing smells and speeding decomposition. Once the trench is full, cover it with 2 to 3 inches of soil and water it well. As the weeks go by, microbes will colonize the tunnel and worms will burrow into it, carrying particles of decomposed matter throughout the bed. Because the organic matter is buried, it stays moist even in dry spells, which keeps decomposition active when a surface pile would have stalled. By mid-season the tunnel will have shrunk as materials break down, but the surrounding soil will be noticeably looser, darker, and richer. Roots from nearby plants naturally reach toward this zone because they sense the steady stream of nutrients being released. This means your plants are essentially self-fertilizing from the tunnel without extra work from you. A tomato bed benefits tremendously from this method. Dig the tunnel down the middle of the row, fill it as described, and then plant tomatoes about 1 foot to either side. Their roots will stretch into the tunnel as it decomposes, keeping the plants green and vigorous long into summer without additional fertilizer. In a raised bed you can run 2 tunnels parallel across the length, filling them with alternating layers of scraps and mulch. For clay soil, this technique is especially effective, as the organic matter in the tunnel draws worms, which in turn create side channels that loosen compacted ground. In sandy soil, the humus acts like a sponge, retaining water where it would normally drain away. The beauty of this method is that it's ongoing. At the end of the season when crops are cleared, you can just reopen the same trench, add new layers of scraps and carbon, then cover it again. By spring the tunnel has shrunk into a humus-rich strip, ready to feed a fresh round of plants. Instead of, building compost piles that need turning and a lot of patience, this lazy system lets decomposition happen right where it's needed. You're basically cutting out the middleman. No wheelbarrows, no hauling, just direct soil building. This method makes gardening easier for every type of grower. Beginners appreciate the simplicity because it requires no special equipment, and the results are visible in the first season. Experienced gardeners value it because it provides a long-term humus building system that improves soil structure year after year. Even seniors or those who prefer low-effort gardening find this trick a game-changer, since it avoids the heavy lifting of composting and fertilizing. Whether you're working in raised beds, in-ground rows, or even compacted clay, the humus tunnel adapts easily to your needs. The humus tunnel is proof that soil health doesn't always require hard work. It just requires setting up the right environment and letting nature do the heavy lifting. This single lazy trick can transform your garden into a self-feeding system that gets better with each passing season. If this guide gave you new insight into how to simplify composting and feed your soil naturally, make sure to subscribe to Hydrohaven for more soil building secrets, and share this with other gardeners who are tired of overcomplicating compost. Together we can spread the word about practical, low-effort methods that keep gardens thriving all season long.